Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. How's everybody? My
So
name
now,
is Yish. I'm here with my brother,
My mom gave me a list of
Dr.
songs.
Uda. Right? So we about to get this started. The internet on my end was acting a little slow with my computer. Brothers and sisters, intend to sisters, everybody online. We appreciate it again. Thank you for if I can be heard and if you in good type in the number 4. Be heard and you in good spirits, please type in the number. Thank you, brother.
you breaking up a little bit, Aki.
Yeah.
Kane. I just now heard you. Shalom, family. To everyone watching, to everyone will watch.
So
Shalom to all.
introduce yourself and then
Okay, Kane. I am Dawood Akeem, servant of the Most High, most importantly, for the purposes of this interview, MC, um, uh, speaker, Moray, just here to put in the work, really. So that's who I am. Nobody without Yah, all praises. That's me. Simple. I ain't got no long biography. Coming in slow. I'm not sure.
all right, because my lady said, no, what I'm asking is who is breaking up? If a quality on both ends is not the best,
Oh, you asking the people? Because I can't necessarily hear you.
hello. And should we continue? Somebody please? All right, I can't be heard myself.
Y'all can't hear me? Okay. So y'all can hear me. All right. All right. So we just waiting on Moray to come back. Uh, he said, so while that's happening, Miss Paka, definitely want everyone to purchase tickets for the Brew Year Bash happening on April 2nd, which we're going to get into in Fort Worth, Texas. The Beat Wild Festival happening in Kentucky, April 28th. The Royal Nation concert happening in June 10th, and also the 3rd annual Hebrew Festival, which is in Mississippi, Gulfport. So I'm sure we'll get into all that. If y'all haven't checked out Divine Perspective, go ahead and check that out on all your streaming platforms. There's a couple other things I want to definitely speak to the people about. Just waiting on more, Ray. So if you have heard the album, can y'all say Kane or low or yes or no in the chat? Shalom, Imako Kavia. Shalom, Mako Tahila. Ma'at Kazak. Is that Iman Kasida? Say that. Okay, Shalom, Iman. Glad to see you on. Hopefully more Ray get back so we can definitely get started. I believe it's going to be a great interview. And also, if y'all have any questions, I mean, definitely y'all can put it in the chat and we'll tap into those as well. All right. I think I see more right now backstage, so he should be coming back on in just a few. All right, Kane, he's back.
Shalom, can I be heard?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother, continue where you were speaking on, and I'm gonna work on certain things on my end. Continue. Thank you, my brother. I hear you clearly.
Absolutely. Hallelujah. What's my favorite song off this particular latest project? It's a toss-up. I have a few. One is definitely All I Need. Shout out to Yehudi Gang, my brothers More at Dawn, Maccabee. It's the real. It definitely put on for that particular track. Elohim featuring Bayit Hamazan. That's definitely one of my top ones off this album, and also Order My Steps. Order My Steps is something that came later as far as this production and this completion, but definitely still one of my favorites. So those are my favorites off the album. But really the whole album is interesting. The one I did with Maury Shemaiah, Play the Fool. I think that's a dope track as well. So yeah, I think those are some of my favorites off the Divine Perspective project. Let me know whenever you're ready, Moray.
Shalom, can I be heard?
Okay. Please like, subscribe, share. This great Moray's channel, not only for this particular interview, but for everything that he's doing. He's definitely putting in work scholastically for the nation. So please support my big brother.
Ken, I definitely appreciate the shout out. If I can be heard and if people are in good spirits, as is the custom on the channel, can somebody or anyone click the number 4? Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. I want to apologize to the family about the tardiness in it. We first was going to start 7, that got postponed, and then my internet decided to act silly. So on that particular case, I need a stronger internet use, and that's what happened with that in that particular case. I personally never met the brother More Daoud, but him and I have spoken on Facebook. Him and I have spoken, and it's interesting because we know some of the same people. More Shemaiah, shout out to the brother if he's listening now or later. I'm Creator Will and Be 43 this weekend, after the day after Shabbat. I've known More Shemaiah, we talking like 86, 87, when I was a little kid, literally. That's a friend of mine. His brother Kum is a friend of mine. Kum Ra.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best rappers that I heard in Israel. I remember Kum, Shemaiah's younger brother, giving my brothers a shout out, whether they on here or not right at the moment. I remember after the Unity Day Shabbat in New York, after they would be at Beit Shalom, a big congregation, and have a party, and Kum would sit there and verbally assassinate. I am trying to grab the mic and go, I will not do that. Now that's my friend, but you got to know where those places at. I try ramen. No, you get 3 no's. And so I'm saying somebody who has a talent from the Most High King of heaven and earth, that is that particular person's talent. The Most High made some people tall, short. The Most High made some people light, dark. The Most High made some people hairy, bald. The Most High made some people who can sing and not sing. Recently on this channel, I did a thing about King Saul. David used to know how to play the harp. Everybody can play the harp. Everybody can play the instruments. So nowhere you're fit.
Can you say that again, real more? I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
David used to play the harp, and not everyone has the same talent. Everybody can't play the harp. Everybody can't sing. Now you can sing, just may not make the choir. You understand? Just may not make the cut. Everybody's not that warrior. In the time of Gideon, the Most High said in the book of Judges, take the people and everyone who laps the water like a dog, put them in the army. Everybody who scrub with their hands, disqualified. Not everybody. You're going to find that man and be like, I'm married. I'm not going to the battle. Not going to the battle. You understand? So I say all of that to say that everybody has their own place. And when one knows his or her own place, walk in it before the Most High. So I'm asking you all to subscribe to the channel, support the brother's music, and let us get this interview started. It's going to be, say, about 9 or 10 slides. And what I did with the brother's permission, after him seeing it in his email and letting me know what he thinks of it, we're going to make a move from there. We're going to talk about different topics. But one question I got in particular is something I'm going to ask in it. So thank you for your help. Again, I apologize on my end regarding the internet matter. What I'm going to do in the future, because I'm not to get too personal, I'm inside of a commercial building. So I'm kind of like using their internet. But what I'm going to do is bring my own home device over so that way it can work a lot better. All right. So in the future. So now, because I got to work later on, so I'm staying in the city. But anyway, let's get back into this. And praise to the Creator. Let's go. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, most definitely. While he getting that ready, like, share, subscribe. About to have some fun. While he doing that, we just want to say that we definitely can't be afraid to let everybody know that this. I know, we get into this side of music, right? From the secular world, and we come to the set apart, and now it's like the floodgates are open, and then it's like everybody's doing music, and it's like that's not how it was in ancient times. You know what I mean? Like everybody wasn't in the 24-hour quiet. So today, like we kind of gotta, I was talking to my big brother King Malachi about that. We kind of gotta, let people know it's cool to sing in the shower. I just say that. But I see the PowerPoint up, okay, so we can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready.
All right, let's get this done. Peace. Thank you for the time, family. All righty. It will show up momentarily. Again, if I can be heard and if people are in good spirits, give me please the number 4. Giving honor to the Most High. Shalom. This is an interview with the brother Daoud in Emcee. This is a 10-question interview based on the brother's history in the nation of Israel. Also addressed is the matter of them speaking of his music. Please subscribe to the channels. All right, so let's go on. Brother, it's not an interruption. Feel free to speak at any given time. All right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, brother, how are you?
I'm good. Most High is to be praised. Yom Kamishi, the 5th day. We almost at Shabbat. That's the goal every week, right? To make it to Shabbat, make it to the rest. So Todah, how about you, Adon?
So that to the Most High, I'm well. Thankful to the Creator of heaven and earth. On a human level, I want to say Todah family for your patience in not getting off the channel with the tardiness and the mess up thing with the internet. I'm going to make note of it and do better next time. What I'm going to have to do, I see, is bring the home-based internet and not use the office internet. That works better in that case. What you're seeing right here was made by the family of Bayis Mazan on Facebook. It's a picture of myself on the left-hand side. My lady took that picture when her and I was in Egypt back in 2021. What you see there is me in the kente cloth, and next to that is a picture of part of the 10 and 6 hosts. Now, Love and History, the 10 and 6 hosts, to my studies, and as I put in the book, Egypt Talk, were the part of the Amalekites. Now, whether this was Amalek from Edom or not, that's a whole other subject. But we want to point out in that ancient Israel and ancient Edom were both spoken by the Egyptians. In the Meneptah Stela, the Israelites are spoken. Inside of the writing of the Amarna records, King David is spoken about. And inside the Anastasia Papyrus, number 6, Edom is spoken about. So we want to point this out, not that we need other references, but it doesn't hurt at the same token. All right, what you see on the right here side is a picture of the brother with his permission to use the brother Daoud, showing himself as a studier, an astute person, and so forth and so on. We intended to do this interview in the past. It didn't happen, but now with the time allotted, thankful to the Creator, let's get this on. All right. So let's move on.
Maisha took that picture as well. She, take pictures.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Speak.
Nah. I was saying that she took that picture of me as well. She take pictures without my permission all the time. I'm just playing, but love my baby. Go ahead, Adon. We can continue.
Can it be like that? The Nashim or the wives, the women in the family, the significant others, and I say this in no dishonor. Like when me and my lady was in Egypt, when I get back, I see all kinds of pictures by me by the Meneptah Stela. I didn't know those pictures was being taken. But what does that tell us as Nashim as men or Ishim as husbands or spouses to the Nashim? Not that anybody is perfect, but keep your nose clean. Because just like your Isha could take a picture of you, and I'm not trying to slander any brother in this world, just like your Isha could take a picture of you, the Most High's eyes is upon, as it says in Amos, the sinful kingdom. And you don't want to be like that, get smitten off the earth. So why do I go there? Because just like your lady can take pictures without permission, so do these other nations. And the Most High doesn't ask us for permission when he does what he does. So while we are noted for being watched, let us make it a good watch, as the saying goes. All right? So let's go on into this particular case. Promotion. Shalom. How long, brother, you been in the understanding of being an Israelite?
So it's been about 9 years since I came across that that particular understanding. I was in Georgia via the Art Institute of Atlanta, down there, wilding out and doing what you do in Atlanta. And the Most High sat me down. I was always a reader of the scriptures, and I found some things on YouTube. Kind of leading to your next question, I found some things on YouTube, and then I did my own research because I never heard it before. And then I just kept reading, and studying. And the Most High, brought me out. April, I would say, beginning of 2014.
Okay. May we know who was and who are your teachers?
So once you're a teacher you kind of never stop being a teacher. It's just more or less how much attention you're given based on what a creative placement. But when I first came into this understanding in 2014, the Most High was my teacher in terms of reading and giving me some sort of understanding. Then 2015 came around. That's when I met my Isha. We got married, and then right after that, we got married in May. So right after that, around July, that's when I met Maury Baruch Hakaim, and the COY family at Children of Israel in Portsmouth. Maury Malakia, Maury Kazakia. Those were my Maureen. As time progressed, continuing in that vein, I met other Maureen, Maury Kanukia, Maury Samat, Ima Kokavia as well. I met her maybe a year or two later after that. Her and Saw Naaman, definitely very, very close and dear to my leg, because they kind of brought me in. So I learned relationship prior to all of that. And then once I met Maury Baruch and started walking on that path, that's when I started learning coaching. So it's always relationship and then coaching for me, because that's how I started. And when you read the scriptures, that's how it was. It was always, did you have a relationship with me first before I show you the coach?
Understood and respected. I hope I'm not over talking you. Let me know, brother, at any given time. I wanted to add on to that, if I may. The brother Maury Baruch graced this channel in the past.
Okay.
And we did an interview in that particular case. Is a good brother. Again, I never met him in person, but we know some of the same people. So what does that tell us? I never met the brother Morey Akim, nor did I Morey Daoud Akim, Salika pardon, nor did I ever meet Maury Baruch in person. But what does that tell us? That tells us that knowing some of the same people, your name travels. There are those who slander, but you can kind of tell apart as time goes along. Like my Hebrew teacher Kohen Mikael points out, time tells a story. Or 8 Mesaperet Sipur. That is to say, in Hebrew, time tells a story. So looking upon it in that particular case, like we were just talking about people who may or may not be on the platform right now speaking. The lady Kokavia, I've known her. I was a little boy, literally in the congregation, Kol She'eri. Why do I take the time out now to speak upon that? Is she couldn't make it, not to get too personal, to my Ima's funeral, but she wrote a poem that my sister Yakina read, while her brother Kom was at my Ima's funeral as well. So I'm saying all of that to say, like, the impression that people make and so forth and so on, and being able to reach out. I know my sister Yakina sometimes assists Gareth Kokavia in the prayer line at times and so forth. Much respect to my flesh and blood family in this understanding as well. My immediate family that's not in this understanding, and no disrespect, my immediate family that been in this since the 1970s but didn't talk about it. I want to say that there were arts that were in this understanding of Israel that did not tell my Ima about this until she came in and said, "Oh, you family." Why do I point that little bit out? Because, like the brother said, never be ashamed to present this truth.
Absolutely.
You understand? So just want to point this out for reference purposes. These aunts now done move south and all of that. I'm going to ask you, brother, if you could speak upon the flyer on the right side about the situation going on April 2nd, please, for promotion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brew Year Bash, second annual Brew Year Bash, hosted by Yehudi Gang, which I am a member of. Shout out to the family. April 2nd in Fort Worth, Texas. It'll be it's going to be a great event. So not only do you have myself, you have More Ethon, King Malachi, Lala Music, Low Key Lab. Shout out to the op. You have a lot of great artists who's going to be there, and we're going to have a lot of fun. That's on the Yom Rishon. Of course, on the Yom Shabbat, we will have Shabbat service for those who make it out. So definitely look it up. You can reach out to myself. You can reach out to Maury at Thon, Maccabee, really anybody that you know in Yehudi Gang for ticket information. Definitely get that. It's going to be a great time. Also, just want to take the time to say that's not the only one that I'll be a part of. So in that same month of April, on the 28th, you got the Wow Abib Festival held in Kentucky. You can reach out to Maury Benaya out of Kentucky for that information. In June in Mesquite, Texas. So we'll be back in the great state of Texas, June 10th for the Royal Nation concert. So you'll see people like myself, Roe the Chef, and many other very, very talented brothers and sisters. As far as Zamira Yisrael also will be a part of that. And then the last show as of now that I'll be a part of is in Mississippi, and that'll be July 9th. And that's also a great event with a lot of great artists. So definitely just be on the lookout for those. Flyers are already up, promotions are already up, tickets are already up. So I say that to say that Yisrael as a nation, although we are divided in a lot of different areas, it seems like the music is being used as a tool that could possibly get us closer together, right? Because if you can party together, you have fun together, maybe we can kind of break down some of these barriers that we have and actually have real conversations. So allow the music to be the tool that the Most High he's always used music, whether that was for war, whether that was for prophecy, so on and so forth. So we just try to, continue the mode of our forefathers and foremothers. So that's what's going on April 2nd, okay?
Okay, definitely do give him respect. I appreciate the fact that you all are comfortable to even promote on this channel these kind of things. Yeah. And music does help. I remember reading about David playing the harp. I remember hearing certain songs that were sung and so forth and so on. So music does bring a certain spirit. And I want to say that when I was writing the book, Egypt Talking Writing, when I was writing that book back into the computer back in 2015, to the point where my ring finger on my hand began to hurt. That's when I I would just keep on typing to my finger literally began to hurt. Instrumentals from DMX, the rapper, instrumentals from the rap group Onyx, instrumentals from different R&B singers, and then of course listening to the Mishpaka drummers. Once it came down to them playing the songs like Hallelujah, them playing the songs like Bagole Nu for those who know it, and of course, them having a song Where There's Peace, There's Love. And I noticed, if I may say, regarding music and the spirit that it carries, when I would listen, say, to the rap group Onyx and DMX and all of the instrumentals, I was typing faster with a different kind of mindset, with a different kind of stuff. Then when I would listen to the Mishpaka drummers singing Hallelujah, meaning praise Yah, or when they were singing Where There's Peace, There's Love, that was a whole different chapter. So I can bear witness that music does carry vibrations within it in that case. I typed in some of the things that the brother talked about, the situation in Kentucky, Texas, and Mississippi. I've been to Texas, but never Mississippi or Kentucky. But it just goes to show you that Israel's big. So it's not about one man show or anything like that. Many of my have left the scene and the thing still goes on. And when we leave the scene, the situations will still go on. So we want to point this out. The Most High told the prophet Daniel, it says it belongs to the time of the end, but you're going to go and rest with your fathers. So we are messengers already in that light, but what will we carry and what name we leave is what's important. So I want to ask this next question. Thanks. What do you have to say in promotion? Oh, yeah, we already did that. All right, thank you. So let's move on. Thank you. All right. Community. Can we speak on the role of being an Israelite to the community at large, brother?
On the role of being an Israelite to the community at large. We, like we have failed our job and responsibility within the community at large. We are supposed to be the light, right? We're supposed to be the priests of the nations. But first, that starts at home within our own communities. So usually when you talk to Israelites, right, and you say, what should we be doing? First thing that most of us are going to say, right, is fear Yah and keep the commandments, right? For this is the duty of all men. And that's true. But we also have the role and responsibility. And you hear the Creator speaking of mostly us dealing with the widows, the orphans, the strangers within our community. These things are very crucial to our position. So when we take ourselves out of the community because we want to be quote unquote set apart, we are now leaving a void that cannot be filled by anybody else because we are the people that carry the antidote for the sickness happening within our communities. So the role of being an Israelite is to be within the community. So whatever gift that you have, it should be being shown within your community, whether that's feeding the homeless, whether that's clothing the homeless, whether that's just talking to some youth on your way to work or so on and so forth. But if your community has no recollection or no thought process or no understanding of who we are and what we are supposed to be doing, then that means that we aren't really doing our job.
Thank you, and I definitely agree with you, brother. What steps do you think we as Israelites can do to be more influential and more helpful to our people at large?
It's an open book test, right? The Creator really laid it out for us in terms of what we should be doing. So first, right, if I had to lay out a plan, right, for Yisrael, one of the things that I would do or say is that we have to get back to creating the programs, right, or functioning within the programs that the Creator already gave us in our word. For example, he said that if one of your brothers is down bad and you have the ability to help him out, right, and bring him in, take him in, so on and so forth, then that's what you should do. Given to those who come to you in need. These are commands, right, that we overlook, and that I believe that if we actually implemented and our community saw us moving like that amongst ourselves first, then they would have an interest in what it is that we do. Like, yo, this man was on the street, y'all took him in, y'all gave him another job, so on and so forth. Like, why do y'all do that? Y'all see this mother who has 4 or 5 children. She's by herself. I see y'all are helping her and clothing her children, so on and so forth. Like, why do y'all do that? We get upset at other religious ideologies for doing these things, right? And we bash them, but they're actually trying to fill the role that we left empty. So we can't really be mad at these other ideologies for doing what we should be doing, and even on a grander scale.
Definitely understood and agreed, my brother. The flyer that we see on the side is from the congregation DCB, based out of New York. The people who run it, I know them personally. Chief Uziel, if you hear this now or later, much respect to you and the work that you're doing with the music matter and raising money for the homeless. The brother, Chief Naftali Dan, who does my book covers in part, much respect to him as well. Rabbi Benyamin, much respect to him as well. And due respect, the man who's the chief prince of the congregation there, Prince Yediel Ben Yassaskar, whom I know personally since I was about maybe 13, 14. Much respect to him as well, and so forth. So looking upon it in that particular case, I remember last maybe 2 so-called Sundays ago when we family hear the words Yom Rishon, it means first day, commonly called Sunday. And I remember saying maybe about 2 weeks ago they had a thing going on where they was raising money for the homeless and so forth. Now sometimes people say, oh well, don't do things and show it, but sometimes it has to be shown so that way people can see what you need to be doing. Usually Israelites, and there's no disrespect intended, cite Proverbs 31 about the virtuous woman, and she gives her hand to the hungry. But it says the same thing about the righteous man in Ezekiel 18. So while the virtuous woman is feeding the hungry, so is the man that's righteous in Ezekiel 18 feeding the hungry and clothing the naked and things of that nature. So these are the things that when it says in the book of Psalms 136, I believe, where it says he gives food to all flesh, we can be that messenger that the Most High is being used to feed others.
It's not could be or don't. We are supposed to be those messengers. The Most High uses us to establish his will on earth. That's what he told Adam and Kawa, or Adam and Eve in the beginning. They had to be on earth in order to serve and to guard, right? To Obed and Shema. That was our duty. So we don't have there is no maybe in it. Like, this is our duty. If we want to get back where we're supposed to be.
That is definitely true, my brother. You spoke upon the orphan and the widow, and I want to talk upon that because it talks about that with the Shalosh Regalim, or the 3 pilgrimages, being today understood as the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, during the time of the Feast of Booths, and during the time of the Feast of Weeks. Now, in chronological order, it's Passover, then the Feast of Weeks, and then the Feast of Booths. And it talks about giving to the almana, which is the widow, and the yatom, which is the orphan. That is to say the fatherless. And this is not to be racial, but I don't know about other places, but certainly in New York, you don't have to go far to find the fatherless. The amount of fatherless homes in the so-called Black community is high.
Okay.
So we already know that we have a job. When you speak upon, brother, about asut, which is to say the doing of our job and the duties that we have to perform within it. We don't want, like you corrected me, and I appreciate that. It's not a maybe, it's a definite. You don't want the Most High to fire you from the job that he already gave. The Most High fires as well. The Most High lays off as well. The Most High gives you a write-up as well. We don't want that, brothers and sisters. Not to try to be funny or put it in terms of the quote-unquote modern jobs of today. The Most High does fire, the Most High does lay off, and the Most High does write up. So when you already know what your particular duty is and the role that your duty is supposed to be, work it and do that particular case. Because you can't wiggle out of the work of the Most High for you. Moses teaches us that sin who you will sin. I'm sending you. You're going to go meet your brother and bring my people out of Egypt and bring them back here to this mountain. That's what you're going to do. It's already laid out. Jonah, what are you doing? You're going to Tarshish to be with Japhet. That's not going to happen. You're going back to do what I'm going to tell you to do in Nineveh.
Amen.
So you cannot wiggle out the work of the Most High. let's continue on in this particular case. Fast. I'm asking this in this case. We know that fasting is not bad and that there are benefits to it.
Oh, you didn't change the slide, Aki?
No, I did. It just shows a little slower sometimes on the other thing. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Give it 1 second. Thank you. Fast. We know that fasting is not bad and that there are benefits to it.
Mm-hmm.
In Hebrew culture, there are, as we can see it now together, thanks for that. Sometimes the internet with the YouTube is several seconds slower than the actual timing or real time as it's called. Pardon that. In Hebrew culture, there are several fasts that are mentioned. What, brother, do you have to say concerning the connection with fasting and prayer?
So I see the flyer there for Operation Leviticus 26, which is a collaboration of fasting and praying in order for us to fulfill what the Creator told us to do when we ended up in a situation like this via his Nabi or his prophet Moshe or Moses in Leviticus 26. What I would say is fasting is a humbling technique, right? And when you're dealing with prayer or petitioning the Creator, the best way to do it is in a humble state. So most of the time when you see us in the Tanakh or the Old Testament or the Scriptures, right, when you see us crying out to our Creator, we're putting on sackcloth and ashes. We're fasting. Matter of fact, the Most High in the book of Joel, chapter 2, which is one of my favorite chapters, speaking of, I believe this time now, he told us to proclaim a fast, right? To call a solemn assembly in order for us to humble ourselves and cry out to him so that he may hear us. So Operation Leviticus 26, it is a weekly fast on Yom Shishi, commonly called Friday, from sun up to sundown, with water and tea or liquids, especially for those who are working. And then we pray out at 8 o'clock Eastern via Zoom. And we're asking all of the elders, right, all of the leaders within Israel to not only commit to doing this with us, but also to coming on and praying on behalf of the nation, because this is the pattern that the Creator laid out and that we see our forefathers and foremothers doing in Scripture in order to get a response from the Creator. So I would say that the connection between fasting and prayer is very, very strong, Adon, very, very strong. And all of this will lead up to September 2nd, where we will be at the Lincoln Memorial, and we will have a in person crying out to our Creator, asking Him to forgive us, humbling our uncircumcised heart, and seeking the solution for the issues that we are having in our community, which is what we were speaking about earlier.
Okay, my brother, thank you for that. Leviticus chapter 26, verse 17. Let the book speak. And I will set my face against you, and you shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and you shall flee when none pursues you.
Amen.
And it says in my face, panah, or my presence against you, and you shall be slain before your enemies. They always talk about, quote unquote, the black crime, or quote unquote, black crime. There's another part of this that speaks upon it and says what? They that hate you shall reign over you. Israelites themselves was saying Pharaoh was back when Reagan came into office back in the late 70s, early 80s. Did you know that? Pharaoh was back. Did you know that from Washington, then later on Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Polk, who was born in North Carolina, of the 45, 6 presidents that exist,
45.
12 of them had slaves. Did you know that? When we read, it says, they that hate you shall rule over you. and you shall flee when none pursues you. We're going to leave Virginia and we're going to go up north and then run into more problems, sadly. Our only solution is the Most High. The point and I'm trying to convey and wanted to ask the brother when I put the PowerPoint together, taught our Elohim, what brother do you have to say concerning the connection with fasting and prayer? This society, and while even I myself was called, oh, you a greedy little boy or you gluttonous, we eat too much maybe in this society. And we're not even going to talk about the quality of food because Ezekiel chapter 3 says Israel will eat the food defiled in the land of their enemies.
Defiled. Yes, sir. Defiled food.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will not eat the food that we eat. Did you know that? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, though they ate meat, we're not going to go vegan or otherwise, will not eat the food that we eat of today. So when now we read some centuries later in the book of Zechariah about the fast of the 5th month, the 7th month, and the 10th month, these things were not uncommon in the house of Israel. You understand? So we can see that there is a distinction between that culture. Now, prayer, did you know that while we're talking about 12 presidents being slave masters in Leviticus 26, they who hate you shall rule over you? Did you know that they did not want you to pray without the overseer around in slavery? Did you know that our people used to put their face in pots so they will pray and not have it to be heard?
Okay.
These things, brothers and sisters, such as you shall flee and when none pursues you, we thought by leaving places like Virginia to come to New Jersey and New York, we'll sit there and make it better. But come to find out, you ran into the Industrial Revolution where the black man had more problems with the Irish than they did with the other people in other places, for those who know that history. Right. So what is the solution according to what the brother stated, citing the prophet Moses? Leviticus chapter 26, verse 40. If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass, which they trespassed against me, and that they also have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised heart be humbled, and then they accept the punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. Malcolm X used to speak on, may he rest in peace, about the importance of land. While they are gentrifying places, I don't know in other states, but certainly in New York, we see more and more the importance of having your own land and things of that kind of nature. So getting into all of that, we lost our land. We lost the connection that we had to the Most High. We lost our language. We lost our culture, and we became blind unto it. So like the brother pointed out, this is something that we do not want to fall asleep upon. We want to sit there and do any way, shape, form, or fashion, music or otherwise, get it out there to the people. Share the links, brothers and sisters. And if you're not musically inclined, or if you are not historically inclined, or if you don't know how to reach to those who could care less about history or music, they in a whole other mentality, because you got to have all kind of aspects to be covered. Don't shy that because it's not you. Don't sit there and say, I'm not going to get the fame and the glory and the shine, so I'm just going to sit there and not talk about it or let it be known. Because the Most High could bring somebody to you for you to sit there and see how you would behave about your brothers and sisters. Leviticus tells us not to stand idly by the blood of our neighbor. You're supposed to be able to help and do help whenever you are able to. That flag that you see there on the left side, I want to give a shout out to my brother, Charlene Dean Mighty Hebrew. Another rapper, by the way, or another person into the music. Music. Let us talk music. How long, brother, have you been a musician?
Been doing music probably since 2010. As far as actually recording, I've been writing music though since the 3rd grade though. So I've had rhyme books that got stolen and lost in lockers and stuff like that since a youngin'. But 2010 is when I really started recording and kind of taking it serious.
Bless. is there a difference between a rapper and an MC? And that's the question I really had. I'm thinking it's one and the same, but enlighten me if I'm incorrect.
Okay. Yeah. So, yes, there's a difference between a rapper and an MC. So, I'll say it like this: all MCs are rappers, but not all rappers are MCs.
Okay.
Um, so when you're talking about rappers, right, you think of stuff like a hip hop, a hip to the hip, however you don't stop, we rock it to the bang bang, boogie the up, jumps the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie that beat. Okay, that's a rapper, right? That's cool. It gets the party going. That's a rapper. But then you got an MC who says something like this. He said, open the eyes to the lies. History's told foul, but I'm as wise as the old owl. Plus the gold child, seeing things like I was controlling, click rolling, tricking 6 digits on kicks and still holding trips to Paris. I live civilized every savage. Given one shot, I turn trife like the lavish. Political prisoner set free, stress free. No work release, purple M3s and jet skis. I'm gonna stop there, but that's the difference between you like it's a place that the MC can take you that the rapper can't take you.
Okay.
Like you know when you hear MC because you actually got to pay attention. Like rappers make you vibe and they make you feel a certain way, and it's cool. And I'm not saying anything against rappers, but MC, they can make you vibe, but more than likely you're gonna have to listen to that song again to actually get what he was saying because he's saying something that you're gonna need to digest.
Right.
Originally, MC, master of ceremonies. Some would say MCs means move the crowd. When you look at hip hop, right, and you look at the 4 elements of hip hop, some say a fifth, but we ain't gonna go there. You look at the 4 elements of hip hop. You got graffiti, you got the b-boy, you got the DJ, and you got the MC. You don't have a rapper, you got the MC. So when you think about hip hop, which I see the questions, but so you want me to just like go into the question because I can kind of go into that question.
Yes, my brother. Continue with the ruach
Okay,
that you in. The questions you see
Amen.
there, continue. And I'll be right back within 2 minutes. Speak to the crowd, my brother. I'll be right back.
Hallelujah. So like I said, so you hear about the 4 elements of hip hop, right? And then you got the culture, which is the 5th, the style, so on and so forth. That's the 5th element. But that's hip hop. Now rap is about making rhymes, making words rhyme in a rhythmic pattern, right? That's rap. There was rap way before the 80s, 78 with Cool Herc and Africa Bambaataa, so on and so forth, if you know the history. But people were rapping way before then, right? Some would say that Muhammad Ali was rapping before there was rappers, right? Because he was just making words rhyme in a rhythmic pattern. But when it came to emceeing and putting it to music and making the crowd rock and so on and so forth, that's the difference between rap and hip hop. Hip hop is hip hop is something that is bigger than just rapping, right? Like if you got a rapper, which is why in the industry today, if you find somebody who's just a rapper, they usually are a dime a dozen, right? Like one passes away, Mosai, may they rest their soul in peace or in shalom. But one pass away, somebody else gonna jump right in. But when you lose an MC, that hits harder because they are much harder to come by. They are very, very much harder to come by. So I usually say I get offended when people call me a rapper because I think that kind of dumbs down what it is that myself and others like me do. Like there's some other MCs in the truth music community. More Eton, I would say, is an MC. Roe the Chef is an MC. I would say that Humble is an MC. Maury Maccabee, it's the real. Those are MCs, right? It's more than that. So if I didn't say their name, don't My sister Lena. Got a shout out to the women too. My sister Lena, that's an MC. And then you have rappers also in Israel, which is nothing wrong with that. But we definitely gotta put some respect on the MCs. So I think I answered everything but your last question up there, Aki.
Okay, my brother. The sister Lena, if we're talking to the same person, sings, if I remember right. Um,
Okay.
and I remember hearing the choir people from Ohio made their leader Maury Elisha rest in peace.
Amen.
And I never met him, but I want to say, as I told a brother named Maury Isha, if I believe right, he comes out of the South now.
I never met him, but I want to say
But definitely, I got notes listening to Maury Elisha, about how to sit there and deal with the debate subject, if you will, on one way or the other. So just giving a shout out and due respect, to those who helped pave the way in part. All right. What is the intention in the music you do?
Um, so I speak to well, my goal is to always give life, um, in whichever form that takes place, whether that's celebrating with the family, telling them of the ways I had to correct myself and hoping that they could correct themselves. But definitely for us to have a good time. Um, I see myself as someone who's possibly a bridge between the two worlds. Uh, can't really can't really box my music in, if that makes sense.
Okay. Understood and respected. Music carries different forms and energies. Now, mind you, the Hebrew word for music is from the word zamar.
Hmm.
The word zamar means like to make music, or the word shir means song. Um,
Okay.
and the word nagain means to play an instrument. So they're actually Hebrew words that actually correlate with the aspect singing of music, be it the book of Psalms said in Hebrew in many cases as mizmor from the word zamar. A lot of
Hmm.
sisters might be named Zamira. The word Zamira means a rhythm or a matter with that. Um, when you read about Tehillim, translated in certain cases as
Hmm.
Psalms, the word Tehillim literally more so means praises. All right. So just want to drop some
Amen.
Hebrew in that particular matter and so forth and so on. All righty. Let us continue on. Thank you again for everyone who's joined on. We're asking you all to support the brothers' music. The information is there. All right. Regarding this, if you want to talk again, brother, about the flyer that's there, this is this coming June regarding
Oh
this
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Royal National
Okay.
Concert. Continue, Tom Sheik.
Okay, that's June 10th. Definitely Royal Nation concert. That's in Mesquite, as you see on the flyer. Um, Certainly going to be a great time. The whole weekend is really going to be something that everyone should be trying to attend. Uh, I would definitely say that. I would definitely say that this is going to be one of the best events of the year. With myself, Lorvins, Judah Mack, Zamira Yisrael, uh, Lahat, and so many more brothers and sisters. Yeah, I think it's going to be something that everybody should definitely try to make out. Vendors, if you're vending, you got things to sell. It's a Hebrew Wall Street type of event. So you're going to have music concerts, but of course you're going to have vending. Um, we're going to be in the park. We're going to have food, so everybody's going to eat, so on and so forth, right? So definitely come out and mark that June 10th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. 9th, 10th, and 11th. So certainly, man. Let's
Okay.
have fun. Let's get together so we can break down some of these walls, right? Music is just a part of it. It's not the main attraction. It's not the main attraction.
Okay. That is a blessing. I appreciate the work that you all who are musically inclined put in. I tell the brothers that the Nushpaka drummers that come through the congregation DCB based out of New York to keep on playing, because you all playing is what you may not know. We're going to show later on in this the result of it, even if it wasn't once thought in that case. You never know. Not that we're on the level of the prophet Moses, but you never know what light you can be bringing to the people.
Okay. Okay.
What you're seeing there, brothers and sisters, is a picture of me and my lady in Egypt when we went there in 2021, and the book that she wrote. I never want to go live or do a presentation without acknowledging the work that my lady has put in. The name of her book is called Chronicles of a Black Woman's Soul. It is a book based upon poetry. And this is not trying to be funny or anything of that sort. Everywhere I go, carrying my book bag, I came from work earlier, I got to work later. I carry her book with me so I can show people. We want to advertise and promote our people. You can get her book on Amazon for those who are interested. Chronicles of a Black Woman's Soul. And just like the brother spoke upon earlier, we don't want to, because Israel is not a misogynistic people where it's just men, brothers, and they're like the camp of no man kind of thing. We're not on some Al Bundy married with children stuff. We are the nation of Israel. You can't have a nation without the females. As a matter of fact, for those and I'm going to not trying to be funny. If you can hear me and if you're in a good spirit, please type in the number 4. If you know Hebrew, you cannot have the Hebrew language without the letter Hey. The letter Hey is the 5th letter of the alphabet. Did you know that that is the letter that precedes inside of the Hifil stem? The Hifil stem is the causative of the Qual stem. So in understanding the feminine principle in Hebraic thought causes things to exist. You can't have that just men and men. That doesn't happen.
Hallelujah.
Eve was taken from Adam, but Adam was taken from Adamah. The Adamah is generally translated as the word ground. So whereas Hawa, Eve, was taken from him, he himself was taken from the Adamah. That at the end of Adamah is a feminine principle.
Okay.
So this is not to, because we want to, like the brothers talking about breaking down walls, generational curses. We can't think promoting our women and our sisters make us simps, weak, henpecked, those kind of things that have absolutely no thought in Hebraic culture, Israelite culture, promoting culture,
Amen.
and so forth and so on. All right. When me and my lady was in Egypt, and for those who do know, periodically we talk about this, the people know Torah out there. Not saying everybody in that land follows it, but when we was walking, not for love, if you remember the Torah, if you're online still, remember when we walked through that little tunnel right there, and the guy, the Ishmaelite, tried to sit there and sell us the idols of Egypt, and I said, no, we do the laws of Musa, which is Arabic for Moses. Immediately he left with his idols. So they know Torah in this world. You understand? And they know who are the people of the Torah. We just got to be that people of that Torah. All right?
Exactly.
So, now, you can get her book on Amazon.com, or you can, for those who are interested, type in 718-864-3125. That number right there for those who are interested in how to contact regarding getting that book, Chronicles of a Black Woman's Soul, In and Out of Time. By the way, the organization and the people online, Bayith Mazan, they the ones who made this cover, by the way, for those who do know. Yeah, I frequent them often to get my book covers made and my flyers made because you want to keep the business in Israel. You want us to be interdependent upon each other, not independent. And I'm gonna go to way yonder when the children of Israel do the same thing that you requested.
Exactly.
That brings me
exactly.
real quick, not to be long-winded. When you got Israelite sisters, because when my mommy, may she rest in peace, came in this understanding, she had a whole closet full of pants and one skirt. When my sister inherited that skirt. I remember it being a black long dress with red leaves on it as an decoration on the dress. My mother wore that same dress every Shabbat until she got more skirts. And nobody in Kosher Eddie said, that sister wearing the same thing again? No, the Moray wasn't having that. You ain't going to talk against people who want to learn. That ain't happening. And Brothers was not moving on the woman 2 weeks after she came in. She didn't come here to get a man. She came here to hear the word of the Most High. There was order and structure. And looking upon it, brothers and sisters, in that particular case, what we want to point out is, excuse me, I had to sit there and get back to my train of thought. If there are sisters that can take a pair of jeans and make a jean skirt, then you know Israel got talent. When you got sisters saying that they pay their bills toward the timing of Passover from all the garments that brothers been ordering since so-called January, you know good and well that we have a right to be interdependent with each other. So let us continue in this next part as we close out. Both of these flyers were made by the people with Bayis Mazan that you may see on Facebook. All right. Get your reading on. You can get these books. These are the shorter versions. Deuteronomy 28, History Untold to the Masses, Egypt Talking Writing. That was a very hard book to write, by the way. And I give thanks to the Most High to have that patience. From Aversa, Alabama, those books you can see on the left-hand side. You can get that each online for $12 each. If you got Prime together, it comes up to less than $40. DayNightPublications.com. A shout out to the brother Haziah Yahuda out of the South, not to expose his business on his location, but giving a shout out to the brother Haziah who helped me develop my website to make it better. But just want to sit there and show the work that has been put in and so forth and so on, and giving honor to the Most High, the Creator. What you're seeing on the right-hand side, Yeshaya Yisrael is my Hebrew name, Vincent Hutchinson, and giving that in honor of my father, may he rest in peace. Wanted to shed some light and honor to him in that regard, and pen naming some books after my dad, may he rest in peace. So that's why I did it in that particular case. So looking upon it, for those who are interested, you can go to daynightpublications.com or amazon.com and get from that particular case and so forth. From Assyria to America, part 3, These Bones Shall Live. All right. Again, that what you see on the right-hand side was done by the work of Bayis Mazan online. And what you're seeing on the left-hand side is a picture of the former king of Israel bowing down to the Assyrian. That's Yehu, king of Israel, that you see of in 2 Kings chapter 9. Now, why didn't 2 Kings chapter 9 show what the Assyrian showed? Were you trying to hide your embarrassment, Israel? What do I mention that in closing this out, brothers and sisters? Is that Israel, we must be a particular light. You don't want to be like Yehu there in that particular case. You don't want that particular matter and being humbled before anybody else is king. Like we read of in the book of Isaiah chapter 60, the nations are supposed to serve Israel. That doesn't mean you rule over them with rigor, because that's not what your portion is. You understand? So just wanted to point that out for edification purposes. I can be reached, brothers and sisters, for those who are interested, at 908-587-4841. And I'm going to relinquish over and let the brother give his outro, his conclusion, and his contact info as he desires. So I appreciate you, the time for that you all have stopped to listen or will stop in the future to listen, subscribe to the channel, go through this, take the information down about these events coming up in different states and so forth and so on. And by the way, when you start talking about Mississippi and in Chicago, do you know a lot of the camps that we talk about out of New York came out of the Midwest? When you study the history of Prophet Cherry and Crowdy and all of them, they came up out of Kansas in the Midwest. It didn't start in Harlem. No disrespect intended. With Rabbi Ford and Rabbi Matthew later on, their predecessors came from the Midwest. Those who know the history. And this is not to say the land of our captivity and what state did what, but we just want to lay that history down in that particular case. So, brothers and sisters, I'll relinquish the mic again to the brother More Daoud Akim and take us out, brother. Toda Rabbah.
Okay, definitely. First and foremost, Toda Rabbah, all praise to the Most High Yah, creator of all things, for the opportunity as well. Toda Rabbah, More Yeshaya. Toda for everybody who came to listen or who will come to listen. Really, I mean, the music is definitely a part of the ministry. It is not, like I said, the main attraction. We have a lot of work to do, Yisrael. Please be tuned in to the Operation Leviticus 26 so we can fast and pray out to our Creator. Definitely come out if you're in those areas, whether you're in Texas, you're in Kentucky, you're in Mississippi, wherever you may be. I believe also in May we'll be in Georgia, just to throw that in as well. So definitely, if you are in any of those areas, let us know. If you are a part of the Nashim, or if you're a woman and you're having a baby, my wife is a doula and herbalist for those who need herbs, for healing, natural healing. So definitely you can contact me for those type of inquiries as well. We do have a online educational platform, Set Apart Homeschooling Academy, Set Apart Hebrew Academy. So if you have children who you want to be out of the system, but definitely still social with their peers, you definitely can contact us about that as well. Just really trying to do whatever we can to be a part of the rebuilding of our nation, and not continuing to complain about it and do nothing. So I just say once again, Toda Rabbah Adon, Toda Rabbah family, and hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Do you want to leave any email or contact info? Your decision.
Oh yeah, okay. If you want to contact me, you can contact me at the 757-327-3172 via email. That'll be the number 4, yeah, 33172. Via email is the number 4, THA COLTURE. So for the culture at gmail.com. Yeah, and I answer everything myself, so I'll definitely get back to you. But that's number 4, THA. Let me put it in the chat. I think I can. So number 4.
I got the number right.
THA.
757-327-3172.
Okay. Shalom, Roach and the coat.
Okay.
By Yima Azan. Definitely, yeah, I just put it in there. Okay. Once again, I don't just want to say Toda Rabbah. Hopefully we can come back on and talk about some of the other issues in Israel away from the music. And I thank you. Thank you for all the work you're doing in Israel. Hallelujah.
And giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. I remember as a child hearing, from Babylon to Timbuktu, get that book. And I got that book when I was 15 and kept on reading and reading. 2 years after that, in 1997, Kohen Mikhael came out with his book, Israelites and Jews, The Significant Difference. And that was like, wow, I know an actual author, in that particular case. Looking and getting into this kind of matter, we are each other's most valuable resources. There is absolutely, positively, and definitely no way that we're ever going to make it by ourselves. That's not the way the Most High made it. We need each other, brothers and sisters. Everybody else knows that but us. Now, you may not need to be in everybody's business. Everybody may not need to be around you or you around everybody, but everybody among our people, we do need each other and so forth and so on. I remember hearing as a child, you can't keep the commandments by yourself. How can you, thou shalt not covet if you are a hermit? How are you going to be able to do that? Yeah, you can sit there and say, well, if it ain't around, I can't sit there and do it. But what does that exercise? If it says, if you wise for yourself, you understand? So, in giving honor and praise to the Most High, everybody who has their mission, their work, their responsibility, do it. But remember what the prophet Moses said to Joshua. I wish they were all prophets so they can see.
Okay.
And he asked Joshua, are you jealous of sake? Like I were able to see what I can see. The prophet Elisha cried literally next to King Hazael of the Arameans. And he said, why weepest thou? And he said, to see the future of Israel and what you will do to my. That's in the book of Kings. So when Moreh spoke on Joel chapter 2, and it says upon there be a fast be called from those who suck the breast all the way to the elders. When you sit there and read upon that particular case, we don't do Molech worship. We don't give up our first child and hope to have mothers. What we give up is our pleasures and just make obeisance to the Most High. We don't sacrifice a child. We sacrifice and afflict our souls in that case. So in that particular case, we read in Psalm 51, it says a broken and contrite heart is the sacrifice of the Most High, to the Most High, sorry. We don't sacrifice children. We don't do Molech worship in the house of Israel. In Jeremiah chapter 7, the Most High said that kind of thought didn't even come to his mind to tell the children of Israel. He wants Israel to be fruitful and multiply. So, in closing out, giving due respect on a human level to everyone who's participated. My lady, much respect to you, Sarai, who, not to get too personal, speaks to me about the matter of tefillah and prayer. The second person in my life said that. The first person now been deceased over 18 years, my mother. Hey, you don't pray like you used to. When you hear something like that, and you can sit there and say that she is like the Rebecca, and not saying that you're like Isaac, but you can understand where Isaac's mind was when he found the love of his life in this case. And that closeness, take heed to that. Because if your Isha or significant other did not care about you and didn't want to hear what you had to say, she would never sit there and monitor, if we may say, to say, you don't pray like you used to. That's not the Ish I met. We need to work on that. You remember that R&B song, There's a Stranger in My House? The man that she had when he became, and a lot of not she or women complain about that. You did this to get me, but then when you got me, you just dropped the ball. We don't want that. We want to be like Moses, who was still doing the same thing that made Zipporah love him. You want to continue in that same vein. Don't get and drop. That's like sweeping all the dust and leaving it by the door next to the dustpan. That's inconsistent. You don't want to half-do situations, brothers and sisters. So, giving due respect to the Most High, I want to give a shout out to people online. My lady, Sarah McKay, Bayis Mazan Network, of course, my mother, Moreh Daoud, Janaea, I'm looking at the names as I scroll through it, Hidden Treasure Entertainment, and Kayil Ya Salika, Kayil Ya Segula, Tehila Yisrael,
Hi, baby.
and C. Matt, and I'm trying to see where the other names are. Little Tony 1614, and Izzy Gets Busy. Thank you all for who left a comment that's seen. And if you care to subscribe to the channel, go through this again, look to see what's going on. And if you in those towns where they doing this stuff, support it. And if you can't make it, give it to those who can make it. Let them know. Don't sit there and not say, well, I ain't going, so I ain't going to participate. No. Let it be known, brothers. Cry aloud and spare not, and raise your voice like a trumpet. Shalom, Black Ave. And with that, shalom, my family. Most I bless. Good evening, good night, good week. Subscribe to the channel. We intend to go live in the future.
Can